your regular mailbox. Remember that this document belongs only to you and must be kept private and safe. For online voting, you will need your voter instruction letter and a device of your choice with an internet connection. For phone voting, you will need your voter instruction letter and a regular phone line, or a mobile phone with a regular connection. In your voter instruction letter, you will find the information required to access the system. This includes your PIN, needed to identify yourself for voting, the web address to access the voting portal, a telephone number to vote by phone, and other important information related to the election. Please, take some time to read it. To vote by phone, call the toll-free number listed in your letter and follow the instructions to log in using your PIN.
Welcome to your town municipal and school board election. To begin, we require your voting credentials. Using your touch-tone phone, please enter your PIN, followed by the number sign key. The number sign key is located to the right of the 0 key.
The number and type of identification fields required to log in might be different based on your municipality's regulations.
Using your touch-tone phone, please enter your date of birth in the following order: year, month, day, using 4 digits for the year, 2 digits for the month, and 2 digits for the day. Please press the number sign key following your date of birth entry. The number sign key is located to the right of the 0 key. The system will now validate your credentials. One moment, please.
Please note that the system will inform you of the races that are available for you to vote. They will be presented to you one after the other as displayed in your voter instructions letter. Note that the system will list the candidates in the same order as in the voter instructions letter.
This ballot is for councilors. Please select no more than 3 options. Please listen carefully to all the following options. To select an option, press the number corresponding to the option. When you have finished all your selections, press the number sign key. To repeat the list of options at any time, please press star key. John Smith, press 1. Cynthia Pike, press 2. Jason Yon, press 3. Jackie Master, press 4. Helen Archer, press 5.
Select the candidates of your choice and wait for the confirmation.
You have selected Jason Yon, Jackie Master, and Helen Archer. To submit this ballot, press the number sign key now. To clear this ballot and start over, press the 0 key now.
If you agree with the selection announced by the system, you can cast your ballot. Remember that once your ballot is cast, your selections are final and cannot be changed. Once your ballot is submitted, they will securely record your choices and you will hear a confirmation message.
Your ballot is being processed. Your ballot has been cast successfully.
Once you have cast your ballot and it is securely stored and the system determines there are no more races for you to vote, the system will respond with a message thanking you for your participation and hang up.
Thank you for your participation.
Thank you for viewing this information video. And if you need further information, please consult your usual local municipality information channels.
Video, we will guide you through the simple remote voting process. required to log in might be different based on your municipality's regulations. If you need help at any point, select the information button in the top right corner of the screen. While you are voting, a progress bar appears at the top of the screen showing where you are and the steps to complete your ballot. In this election, you can vote for both the municipal council and local school board offices. A full list of candidates are shown by office on each page. When you have made your choice, select Next to vote for the following office. If you don't want to vote for a certain office, you can leave it blank and move on to the next screen. Once you have moved through each office on the ballot, you will be asked to view the confirm change any of your votes by selecting the Change Vote button and going back to the previous screen. If you are happy with your choices, select Submit Ballot. When you confirm your ballot, your vote will be securely cast and stored in the digital ballot box. At this point, your vote for this race is final and cannot be changed. Once the ballot has been cast, you will see a confirmation message indicating that your vote has been cast and stored. Once you are finished, select the exit button. Thank you for viewing this informational video. To learn more, please visit your municipality's election information website.
Good. Okay, thanks for that. So now it's all clear as mud for all of us. So we're going to start with opening remarks. So we're going to have Cheryl. She's going to start. We'll give you your 3 minutes, and then we'll go right to Dave. Then we'll start with Angela, and then we'll go to James. Okay?
All right, hello everybody, Highlands East permanent property owners, the cottage associations. My name is Cheryl Ellis. I am 5th generation that has made Highlands East my home. I feel some of the basic skills needed to be mayor of Highlands East. Like most jobs, I'm going to need to learn on the job. But I do have skills to put forward. I'm trained in finance, contract negotiations, human resource management. I know the minimum maintenance standards for the highways from working for the department, working for Alberta County. I am knowledgeable in the Employment Standards Act, Canadian Environmental Protection Act, Canadian Human Rights Act, Accessibility for Ontarians with Disability Act, Labor Relations Act, Occupational Health and Safety Act, and lastly, I have read and reread best practices for preventing fraud, bribery, and corruption at the municipal level. I have been shown great support, and there's so many people sharing ideas, and they've been helping me prepare for the position of mayor. To all the people that have helped me and supported me to this point, I give thanks, and I really hope for your continued advice and support if I am elected. I would like to make sure there's going to be an open dialogue between Highlands East and all the ratepayers. Things like that, that's going to help us improve our lives here in Highlands East. I would also like to have speak with people about getting our cell and internet services upgraded and made better. I have put some papers at the back there. If anybody is interested, they can contact these people, and they will put, you can fill out an application to have a tower put on your property. And if it works, if it's in an area they feel is appropriate, they will come in and do that. Things like that are the things that are going to help us get the better cell and internet service that we really need. I've been asked to investigate why each dump has different rules and why the dump fees are inconsistent. Highway 28, no charges. You can bring any paint, anything you want. Products anytime. Tory Hill, they charge for wood dumping, etc. And no chemicals until Environmental Day. And you know, that's not always convenient for the seasonal residents. They're not always here to do that. So I will look into that and find out what's going on with that. I know it's going to be a challenging job to be the mayor, or to be
Okay,
the
thank you
council.
very much. Appreciate that, Cheryl. What I'm gonna do, actually,
This isn't much more.
I'll put up a 30-second sign, because that was kind of abrupt, and I apologize for that, because I didn't think of that part ahead of time, that I should have given some warning that when the card goes up, you've got 30 seconds left. So,
All right, I'll get the
okay?
rest at the
Yeah.
end.
All right, Dave, go ahead.
Thanks, Steve, and thank you for putting this on. Thanks, Michelle, and whoever has worked so hard to put this on, and I think that it should be a fun and entertaining evening. I would just like to start quickly by recognizing the fact, our land acknowledgement will do, that we are on the First Nations territory, the Williams Treaty First Nations, and we are supposed to be, and I hope we are, stewards of their land and waterways in perpetuity. And I had to really learn that word, perpetuity. Try to say that one. Perpetuity. Anyway, thank you again, and I'd like to take a second to introduce, I got Cam Kinsey, one of our council members here. Cam, thank you. I have Bruce Strong back there. I haven't seen Suzanne yet. And Cease, and they said they would be there. I have a little granddaughter, Olivia, here in the front with me. She's been my campaign manager, and she's helped. And she is actually up here moose hunting for a day or so. Anyway, it has been my honor and my privilege to be Reeve and now mayor of Municipality Highlands East. And I don't run around and say how many terms, I say a few terms, but it's been 16 years that I've had the privilege and opportunity to represent you people, and I take great pride. And I've done it in an ethical manner. I've done it with integrity, ethics, and experience. Experience is paramount right now. With what we've gone through with COVID and different things, I think to get back in the road to recovery, to get us back to near normal as we can get, that it's going to be paramount, that we have experience there, leadership there to do it. My focus has improved the lives of everyone here in Highlands East, and this can be seen through our growth in our communities over my term as mayor for this community. We've improved the broadband connectivity for over 90% of the municipality, and I know there's still a lot to be done, and we will do that. Over this period, I chaired Eastern Ontario Region Network, and I saw something back there with them on the table there. I chaired that 8 years of my life, trying to bring high speed, trying to get cell service done. It's been challenging. Every time, as chair of what we were doing, technology was changing fast. I was playing catch up all the time. It's just like you couldn't get to the end. But we did spend $213 million the first round, which I was in charge of, worked with Bell, and we did make a difference. Not what we wanted, but it was close. We're also in the process of improving our cell service, with over $300 million being spent in Eastern Ontario, including Highlands East, through the private sector partnership. And I thank each and every one of you here for having the trust in me, given in me, over this period of adjustment that we've been having. I have been, and I am still on, the board of directors for Ontario Good Roads Association.
Okay, Dave, thanks very much. Appreciate that.
It's taken 3 minutes.
That was your mayoral candidates. So now we're going to switch over to Ward 2, and we have Angela. Go ahead.
I'm Angela Lewis. My husband and I have lived here all of our lives. We both went to Parker School. Our kids went to Parker School. I think that the reason why I want to be our voice is because that over the years, when people that I've talked to have always felt we didn't have a voice for Ward 2. It's that far off of the municipality. And so I want to bring that, I want to try and bridge that, so that Ward 2 has a voice. And it starts way down here, right up to Highland Road. And over the years, the housing issue has become now catastrophic. Where I work, I see young kids that are 23, 24 years old, they have good jobs, they have to move back in with their parents with their kids. And that's couples. They can't afford $2,000 for rent. As far as, and all we have up here now is seasonal work. We need to sustain employment for this next generation of kids that are coming up. I want to be able to see, and when I look outside and I see all the kids in my community and I think, okay, I'm good, I have a house, I have a job, everything's good, but it's not about me anymore. It's our generation that has to do something, and it has to do. People need affordable housing. They cannot afford $450,000 homes that live around here as residential. The elderly, we need to start taking care of the elderly. There's so many people in my community that I know that all they have is the old age pension. That's all they got. They don't have any other pension coming in. We need to look at pushing the government to those people that are in a certain tax bracket, that their taxes are free on the house that they live in. And have other properties of the residential house that they live in, the primary house, but they don't have to pay tax on it. And they have to be within a certain, and I have other ideas of how that, if somebody says, oh, well, it could be fraudulent, no. If you do your taxes, you would provide that to the township, and then you would have free tax on that principal. That would take care of some of the elderly who are living in my community. We have widows, that's all they have is an old age pension, and then you have the supplement. Want to make sure that all of our communities, all of these kids, and my grandkids, I had growing in my community, and for the rest of you, community centers as fire halls. They're really important, and the uniqueness of our communities. We need to get more programs happening within our community centers. When I was growing up, our community center was being used and utilized pretty much every night of the week. That was euchre, bingo, it didn't matter what it was. Also, when it comes to the economy, obviously the trades are where it's at. There's a lot of these kids that are working, and when I say kids, I'm speaking 20, 22, 23. They can't afford to go and get their papers.
Thank you, Angela. Janice, go ahead, please.
Good evening, thanks everybody for coming out tonight. Some of you may know me, my name is Janice Dom. I, unlike everybody else, was not born and raised here in Highlands East, but made it my home back in 1986. I've spent the majority of my adult life working within the county in the hospitality and tourism industry. And that's like I feel like I have a pretty good understanding of listening to people, and listening to what their wants and needs are, what drives the county or communities, municipalities in terms of bringing in tourism dollars, which, it is very, very important to our community. Along with my husband and I, we raised our two boys who absolutely love living in this community, but have moved elsewhere, that they find every opportunity they can to come home whenever possible. Like my fellow candidate, I also believe that affordable housing is so crucial and critical to the growth of our community. It's really hard to suggest somebody come work in our community, if they have no place to live. And we need housing that's so crucial to everybody. I mean, why would you want to come to a beautiful area like this if you don't have a roof over your head? So I'd love to give the opportunity to work with our communities, with our council, with our townspeople, come up with viable solutions, brainstorming any possible ideas that we can put together, and how can we achieve that goal. Along with the affordable housing, like everybody else, self-service, reliable internet is really important. We've seen, of course, the pandemic, how many people have switched over to the work from home scenario, and having those services is really critical for them to succeed in their businesses. And if they're successful, then their families also do well, and our community thrives together. So I don't have a lot to say right at this point in time, so I just thank you for giving me your ear, and I can be able to answer your questions afterwards. Thank you.
Thank you, Janice. Okay, so that's the introduction for the four candidates tonight. We'll open the floor to the first question. Make us some good ones. Okay, go ahead, stand.
Mr. Moderator, I'm not very far back, and I barely heard a word about it.
Okay.
That was very poor. What the candidate said, what I caught, was good, but I missed most of it.
Okay.
And I'm certainly not deaf by any means.
I'm not sure what we can do about get the candidates to speak up, I guess. We're going to have people speak up, I guess, a little bit.
John,
Do your best.
John, you want to go for the front?
There are some seats down front if you prefer. Do we have any other, do you have a question? Okay, Stefan?
This is for both mayoral candidates. If elected, will you allow any community center, library, or fire hall to close or be relocated as well as the construction of a mega hall.
Okay. Did everybody hear that question?
No.
No.
Okay, so Stefan asked if, oh, you got it written down, perfect.
First one.
First one. If elected, would you allow any community center, library, fire hall to close or relocate?
Construction of a mega hall.
Would you allow the construction of a mega hall? I assume that's fire hall?
Correct.
Correct, mega fire hall?
Correct.
Okay, we're gonna start with, is that for all candidates?
That's for the 2 mayoral candidates.
2 mayorals, so we'll start with Cheryl. Go ahead.
No, nothing closes down. If anything, we need to enhance our services more, and work on what we have and keep what we got. As far as the mega hall, you know, that's not affordable at this time, not even close. We need to, maybe years down the road, look at something like that, but right now, I really don't think we can afford anything like that.
Okay, over to Dave.
Stefan, no to the mega hall. As far as closing libraries and closing halls, no. Nothing at this time that I'm aware of. I am having a bit of a problem with the county with our libraries. We do have 4 in the municipality. For example, and Dysart has 1, Minden has 1, and Algonquin Highlands, I think they have 1 and 1.5 or something. There has been talk about taking one of our libraries. Suzanne, councillor, and I worked very, very hard to keep what we got, and I'm very happy with what we got. There has been nothing that I can honestly report about the fire halls, closing fire halls. There's been nothing on the table. I think we talked about this 4 years ago, and nothing's much changed. If, and I will say this, if I can prove to our people that are sitting here that I can give better protection and safer protection and more protection because our population has migrated to the lakes, I will entertain it with total public consultation.
That it? Okay. All right, so do you have a second question? Go ahead. If you stand, please, just so everyone can hear. Thanks.
First of all, thank you all for coming out tonight, I appreciate that. I have a question for everybody, and all I want is a simple yes or no. Do you think that these short-term rental operators are making homes unattainable for people to buy in our community?
Okay, did everyone hear that question? They understand the question? Short-term accommodation rentals, is it making housing unattainable by owning these? So because it's for everyone, we're going to start down at Angela this time, and we're going to work our way right on through. Okay?
Do you want
Go.
a yes or no answer, correct? Okay, so I'm gonna say yes. Do you want an explanation or?
Sure. Yeah, so I'll stand up. Sure.
So what it looks like is as soon as everybody did the short-term rentals, and then people that, even in houses, people are using those as short-term rentals. So any of those long-term rentals now are non-existent. So that is correct, but there's so much more to this, because when you have the pendulum where over the last course of 2 years, when the government said people didn't have to pay rent, all those homeowners lost money. And it's really hard, and as I said, the Renters Act, it needs to be relooked at. And if it's not, then no one's gonna rent. That's just the bottom line. So to me, yes, it's your correct.
Okay, Janice?
I'm gonna say no. I feel that, lots of people work really, really hard to be able to buy a home, and then if they're fortunate enough to be able to buy a second home, and they need to rent it occasionally to offset some of their costs.
No, I'm not talking about occasional. I'm talking about the people that do not reside in their homes, they rent them. That's all they're about.
I'm just gonna stick with my answer of no.
I just want to make sure I understand the question, Harold, and if you could just.
Go ahead can you want to repeat it one more time?
The question, Dave, is do you think that if housing has become unaffordable for people to buy a home in this area because of the people that are allowed to buy properties and rent them out who do not use them as cottages and who do not reside in them.
Okay. And I'm gonna say yes to your yes and no one to start with, and then I'm going to try to give me a minute or two just to explain where we're at with the
2
county
minutes.
and why we're doing what we're doing with it. Because it has, there's commercial and casual, is what we're gonna, if you don't mind if I call it that. And we're trying to address the commercial short-term rentals because they have been a source of some problems. And when I say that, I'm talking septics, I'm talking environment, I'm talking police, ambulance, fire service and stuff trying to get there because maybe the places are overcrowded and the septic and stuff will not take what they got. So it does add to our economy here, and it does help our businesses and the stuff that we're doing, but has put such a burden on our services.
And if I can interrupt, does it not also put a burden on the fact that young people who are professional, handymen, I know a plumber up here, right, who has all kinds of work, but he can't find a place to rent or a place to buy, and he's got jobs galore.
I don't know what the answer with the short-term rentals other than we do have it at the county level and that we are looking at it and we are looking at licensing. We are looking at, like I said, the commercial over the casual. I have no problem if somebody wants to rent a cottage for a couple of days, their family, friends, whatever it is. I support that.
I agree with you there.
The commercial ones that they don't live in the place, I have a hard time in my position or my bylaw people to find accountability. Who do I call? Owner's not there. These people don't know who the owner is. I got people that last week that talked to me in Lake Lorraine. They got people that get stuck in the wintertime because they haven't got snow tires, they haven't got winter clothing and stuff, and these people are helping them out. Because whoever's into renting this thing.
Okay, Dave, thank you. Cheryl, go ahead.
Yes, because I believe that they're taking these and they're making money, short-term rentals, and if that was not as easy for them, then these would be put up for sale, and we would have permanent residents in there bringing in our trades or whatever we need here.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks everyone. That was a good talk. I let that one go a little bit more than I probably should have, just because I think it's important, and I think a lot of people are aware of the issues around short-term accommodations. Okay, we have another question.
Go ahead. No, you go ahead.
Go ahead.
Good evening, candidates. It's going to be like a two-part question.
Okay.
First is going to be to Mr. Burton. Throughout your 16 years as Reeve and Mayor, what have you done to promote business and economic growth within Highlands East, especially to bring younger generations back into the community for work? And then the second part will be open up to everyone else what they will do if they get in to bring in jobs.
Okay, so the first question is to Dave, and then we're going to open up. Everyone can answer after that, but you want to hear from Dave first?
That's correct.
Perfect. Go ahead, Dave.
Just, you wonder what I've done to create employment?
Yeah.
In 16 years, is that how long it's been?
That's what you said.
I've tried my utmost. We have brought a few jobs in, not a lot. It's awkward, and it's challenging, and I'll tell you what it is logistics. I'll use my own business. The driving to wherever I was selling my goods is hurting us, and that's why I'm not. I have the ice plant. I have, they can do that, and they hire probably 30 or 40 people. But I've tried every year of 16 years to bring something in, and I can liken it to something I hope comes up tonight. A lot of my hour value, seasonal people don't want a factory sitting next to their lake, or maybe they don't want anything else like that that makes noise or clutter or whatever when they're out here to retire and enjoy the things they're doing. So it's been challenging for me. I was told 16 years ago that I never would and never will bring jobs to Highlands East by one of the candidates.
Okay, so we'll hear from Cheryl next, and then we'll head over to Ward 2.
Okay, what's the question again for us, Tom?
It was just what you would do if you get in as mayor to bring jobs to Highlands East.
I would look at many different revenues, or different avenues of doing that. But we don't have, all of our properties not lakefront, and all of our properties not situated right beside someone. We do have lands that are in the middle of nowhere where there could be probable factories put in them places and so forth. Like back Monkford Road, for instance, there's all kinds of vacant land there. A factory that doesn't make a lot of noise certainly wouldn't be a disturbance to anybody. So stuff like that. There's, hopefully we can do some things for the small businesses that we have in the area, so they will be able to need more employees and stuff like that. But right now, I think we're having a problem actually having jobs filled because there is so many vacant positions all over the county.
Okay, we'll go over to Janice next. Thank you, Cheryl.
So if I were elected, I think one of the avenues possibly to look at is the possibility, I think bankruptcy right now is they're waiving development fees. So you're providing some incentive bonuses for businesses to come to your area, maybe build a business or develop a business further. I honestly believe that's one of the things to get your business to this area is provide some type of incentive for them to do that. They have to be really the reason for them to want to come and bring business to our area besides the fact that it's located.
Okay. Thank you, Janice. Go ahead, Angela.
Okay, well, in order to, first you have to fix the housing. If we don't have housing, nobody's gonna come, no industry's even gonna look at us if you don't have any housing, that's number one. As far as the businesses here, we need to include all of the contractors, and anybody that's in business, from one end of the county to the other. Those are the people that are gonna tell you what the barriers are. They're gonna tell you what needs to be done in the community and what other businesses, they'll build on that. But we need their insight, because they're the ones out there, as I said. I know contractors, and they'll say, here are the barriers. Well, look, these are the people, and we need to include them in an economic plan. Those are the people that are driving, and that's, as I said, with housing, if you don't have housing, you're not gonna even, no industry is gonna come. And I don't know what that industry is, but we do need something. All of this next generation, they need some sustainable employment, because it's not looking good. And what we can do is bridge, so a lot of the other ones that have, some of the kids that are out there that are in the trades and need to get a certificate, we need to work with the local colleges, start bringing in some of these programs that is geared to our area. Maybe night courses, and then at least can work in the daytime and then go to school at night. These are the things that is gonna drive this, and is gonna get more,
No, go. 30 seconds.
The certificates, I know lots of kids that are PSWs. If they have a night course, they can go and they can bridge over to an RPM. It's no different with the trades. A lot of the trades, they can do journeyman and then go to school. If we had, the colleges had courses that were geared to that so that they could work in the daytime and go to these courses at night and get a certificate. It's going to create more small businesses. And right now, as far as the housing,
Thank you, Angela.
trades.
Thank you, Angela.
Thank you.
Thanks, Tom. Do we have another question? Okay, let's go down over here. Red hat. Sorry, I don't know your name.
Hi, my name is John McCracken. My issue is what to do about encouraging and supporting snowmobiling in Highlands East. Here are some issues. Antonac Road, the road department, they stand from one bank to the other with two people living in it. Snowplow blocked entrances, example, footbridge. Former council wanted to ban Gruder from crossing Paddington Road. Edson Creek Bridge, I don't know much about it, but apparently that's an issue with the township and the club. So could each candidate please state what they would do or wouldn't do to support snowmobiling for the winter of 22-23? Thank you.
Okay, so did everyone hear that question? It was in regards to snowmobiling in Highlands East. what could or couldn't be done. What's in your opinion? What would you do to support or, I guess, possibly deter snowmobiling in Highlands East? Sorry to pick on you. Let's start at Angela and work our way back. Go.
Well, if we're constant, now, we're almost 100% are relying on tourism. So if that's the case, we need to do whatever we can, because it's winter time, that's the tourism that's going to keep all these other businesses going. And so we have to look at that, and especially coming out of COVID, a lot of the hospitality got hit hard. And so all these restaurants, we need to encourage that, because during COVID, I realized that we're all essential and we did pretty well, except for the few restaurants that are around, and they got hit. And so for snowmobiling, I know what it's like. I've worked in that hospitality, and so we need to do whatever to promote that, because we promote everything in the summer, and if we're gonna make it year round, then we have to do, to make sure that they get it, that is promoted, for sure.
Okay, thank you very much. We go over to Janice next.
Well, as a avid snowmobiler myself, I would love to see us, as Angela said, advertising more. And so many people know that this area is great for snowmobiling, but getting it out to other advertising venues, like let's say for example, Snowmobile Magazine, on our website, promoting this area as a snowmobiling destination. Better signs on the trail saying, yes, there's gas, there's restaurants, there's, maybe even accommodations for snowmobilers, maybe this is a destination place as opposed to a pass-through place. I'd like to see work done in collaboration with, say, with the roads department, that maybe we can keep more, shoulder paths for snowmobilers for easy accessibility, maybe off of the trailhead into the town as opposed to surrounding down there with, gravel dirt roads, that sort of thing. Like I said, people love snowmobiling, they love snowmobiling up here, and we have a lot, we need to keep promoting it, to the best of our ability.
Okay, thanks, Janice. On to Dave.
I'm gonna try to be 2 minutes here, quick as I can. Let's get the timer again. Thanks for the question, John. We've been working as hard as we can with the different groups. I totally support every outdoor activity we have in Highlands East, and snowmobiling is very, very important to us. ATVs are important to us. I've run into a couple obstacles. I haven't been really mentioned. I did kind of go after the trail groomer, because he had plates on the thing that were digging down to my asphalt that deep, come across with 5 times across the road. They were running the road, so I asked them to take the plates off. They took the plates off, and we're working together to make it better. The Essenville line, or Essenville IDNO bridge, we're working on that. I believe in my heart, I will have that ready for this winter. It's gonna be a chore, but I believe we can do it, and we've been working. I got an issue in Goodrum where the trail has been shut down for whatever reason that could be. Maybe it's private property, whatever it is. And we are trying to find a way around that, to make this a destination. I want this a destination for all trails and all outdoor activities, canoeing, whatever it is.
Katie, thanks. And Cheryl, floor is yours.
So I think we can work with the clubs to eliminate these obstacles, instead of sanding the whole road, maybe just sand down the center. They all seem like quite simple obstacles. The bridge, as Dave said, that's going to be ready for this winter, which is excellent. And as far as the trail going to Goodrum, and that is a private property issue there, but the people in Goodrum, the businesses in Goodrum, they are worried. They are extremely worried this will be the end of them after suffering through COVID, and if they can't get the skidoers through there, they're not going to make it. So things like that really has to be solved to make sure the skidoers can enjoy all these trails and get rid of the obstacles.
Okay, thanks, candidates. Another question? We'll take this one in the back. Thank you.
Thank you, Mike Thomas. The current council made decisions on 3 issues during their term. I want to know any of you are elected to the next council, if you'll support the decisions on going. The three were, one was Center Lake. The current council will not support the developer's request to purchase the Crown Reserve, nor the application by one of the developers for the initial application they put in to Highlands East and Alberta County. The second is the shoreline preservation bylaw, which in Alberta has come into force April 2023, which was supported by Highlands East. And the third is the septic inspection program that has been ongoing in Highlands East. And I would like to know from each of you if you'll continue, if elected, to support those three issues.
Okay, thanks for your question. Did everyone understand what he's saying? We're all good? Okay, we're gonna start at Cheryl this time, and we're gonna work our way the other way.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Center Lake, no, I don't think Center Lake should be developed. It is one of our lakes in Highlands East that is free and clear of all the cottages around it. And if I canoed or kayaked Center Lake in the summertime, and you wouldn't believe all the people camping on that shoreline, on the Crown land, and it is a good thing, because, you know, they can't afford to go into Algonquin Park, they can't afford to go into the provincial parks, and this is something really great, and they have all that lake to explore. Shoreline preservation, yes, I'm for it. I believe that is the only way we're going to be able to keep our lakes healthy for the future generations. Septic inspections, absolutely, they do need to be carried on because of older septic systems and such. But in the same token, I understand that some people might not be able to afford to do the upgrades on their septic system. So I would like to see some kind of municipal help, possibly, and then add that back onto their taxes over time, so they can get their septic systems upgraded without being at a great loss to the family income.
Okay, thank you. Dave, you're next.
I'm going to start the septic, Mike, if you don't mind, work backwards, but yeah, we put that together a few years ago. It's been a success story for us. We're back now to, we're kind of put it on hold so that we can assess the high-risk areas that we have, and we've done that. We've come back, and I was pleased to report in Gooderham, which is part of what we're doing tonight, as well as Wilberforce, and I think they've hit Potash Lake now, that most of the high risk have been dealt with, and we did, as Cheryl said, well, people can't afford it, we did take a soft approach first. We're playing hardball now. We want it done, we did get it in a couple of years, we want it done and done properly. Center Lake, of course, council decided that we'll keep the reserve around Center Lake. I'm so pleased it did it. It is a gem, and I think it deserves to be protected and taken care of. Shoreline bylaw, yes, we did it at the county. It took 5 years, it took a long time. Suzanne, I wish she was here. She was probably the warden when we started that thing, and it took a long time. But there was so much public input, public consultation that I thought was proper at the time that we heard from them. It cost a lot of money, but we heard loud and clear what they wanted and what they needed, and we listened to it, and we have put it in place.
Thank you. Janice, you're next.
Very simply put, I would continue to support council with all three of those past bylaws. All three are very, very important to our communities, and a lot of work was done in putting those programs and bylaws into place. They were done for a reason and a good reason, and I'd be very happy to be supporting them.
Okay. Angela, go ahead.
Oh, let's start with the shoreline. Absolutely support the shoreline bylaw. I just don't know why anybody would want to gamble with your water. I don't even understand that. So I totally support that. It's worked this many years, and our waters are clean. For future generations to come to enjoy their lakes, and the cottagers, and the next generation of cottagers, they can enjoy their lakes. And the other two, I definitely support council on all three of them.
Okay, thank you very much. We have one more question here. Okay, let's down here in the front.
Hi, Nicole Sahai, and thank you all for being here and for running for these positions. I know they are not easy. I know I would not want to do it, so thank you for doing this. So my question, I believe, is equally as important as the housing issue. It's the food supply. And my question is, how are you going to support the food bank here as well as the heat bank? Because they are in dire need of support, and it's only going to get worse with the
food shortages that they are projecting.
Okay, everyone got that one, that question? We okay here? Yeah. Okay. Cheryl, Dave, we're okay with that? You're okay with the question? You heard it? Yeah, okay, all right. It's for all the candidates, I imagine? You wanna hear from everyone,
I
or?
want to hear going forward because it's,
So,
stuff needs to change.
so it's for
yeah.
everyone, okay. So let's start with Cheryl, and then we'll go Dave, and then we'll go Janice, and then, yeah, we'll work the other way back down. Okay, go ahead.
So I understand Randy, he's doing constant trips back and forth filling up the food bank as it is right now, is that correct? Oh, you don't know?
I don't know, I'm asking going forward.
Okay,
I
so
see.
he does seem to be doing a fantastic job,
Okay.
and the shelves are always full in Wilberforce. That is one great thing, because I have sent a few families there for help, and they were overwhelmed with the supplies in which they were able to obtain from there. So, and as far as the heat bank goes, I know of probably 3 people that used that last year, and with the donations from the logging companies, they were able to help all the people that needed heat last winter. And there was quite a few. Every time Randy took out another load, he would post it on Facebook. He didn't post names, but he did post another family he was able to help, and they're very helped. People are very appreciative for the help. The fire department often goes in and helps cut and split the firewood, the donated firewood. So I believe all that's going to be still moving forward, and we will still have all of that in place.
This is also for helping people pay their heat bills, not just for wood. And I did have a meeting with someone very involved in that. And that's where this is coming from, that they're in dire need of both food. And there's more people than ever that need both the food and the heat. So that stuff that's happening now, we need to do more going forward. So what are your ideas for doing
Well,
that?
I understand there is a program that is running that people can apply to, and they will help them with their heating bills.
Yes, just what's happening, it's not enough.
It's not enough.
From someone that's working.
Okay, I'm gonna stop, Cheryl. We're gonna stop, the discussion back and forth. It's just gonna be answer questions, so we'll go from here, we'll go forward, okay? Because I didn't wanna cut you off. I gave you a little longer than 2 minutes because I kinda didn't jump in at that. So go ahead, Dave, you're next.
This could take a couple minutes, thank you, but, I'm so pleased that council of the day, and what have you, put our food hub in Wilberforce, and it's all over the place in Cam for what he does at the food bank down here. But I was adamant that no child in Alberta County, but especially in Highlands East, is gonna go to bed hungry. And we've taken that task on, and I think we've done a pretty remarkable job of doing that. We went to the schools, and I believe part of the problem is education, and we went out to the schools, and we were actually teaching the grade 8 classes to cook. So they could take what they had made either home or eat it, and then maybe prepare a dinner at home for mom and dad. As far as the heat bank, yeah, it's worked well for us. It's worked very well. And I can't thank the volunteers enough for what they do to make it work that well. To my knowledge, I think Hydro can maybe help us out with the heating oil bill or whatever you were referring to. I can't. The township cannot at this time. Maybe volunteers can, I can't.
Okay, thanks, Dave. Janice, you're up.
So as, both previous candidates mentioned, you do have what I feel is a really good food and heat bank program going. What I'd like to try and do in the future is reach out, there's a lot of new families in this area might not be aware of these services, but they also might not be aware of the volunteer opportunities, that they can donate more of their time to expand these services, to tap into other resources in terms of suppliers, whether it be for them. And even just keep working with what we have, there's, I know there's a huge demand for that. We've got the breakfast program, I think some of the schools going on, that really helps all the kids, and that's for everybody, and every child can start their day with a breakfast and a dinner before classes start. To just, I think, continue building with all what we have, and I think there are other resources that we could go after in
Okay, thanks, Janice. Go ahead, Angela. You're up.
Okay, so the two things, I've seen over the course of years of hiring people and working for me, and they use it too. But Wilberforce has, from what I understand, the shelves are always full. And that's thanks to the IGA donating, and I'm sure that I haven't had kids in school for a long, long time, but the schools usually do a run. The police usually do a run, at Christmas time. But I think maybe we should be reaching out for the heat. That's what seems to be an issue, because I can see that hydro bills, oil bills, it's okay if you burn wood, but if you don't burn wood, what are you gonna do? Fill up your oil tank, it's gonna cost you an arm and a leg. And I do understand that, I've been there. Raising families, I know what it's like to have that money up there, up front, fill up your oil tank. Maybe what we do is reach out to more government for emergency funds, so that it's there. I know that before we used to rely on churches. I've actually, lots of people that have phoned me years ago, and I'm like, well, go to your local church, go to your local church, they'll try and help you out. And maybe what we do is get to other larger companies, and so it's kind of like what we did with kids that needed snowsuits. And so that you got a number, and you could sponsor that, but you didn't know who it was. And so maybe we have some sort of a bank that you have a number, I don't know who it is, but they're in need of wood. So I can donate $300 to an oil company, and that goes towards their oil. And that might be something that is something. Better than going. Quicker.
Okay, thanks, Angela. You actually got in under the 2 minutes. You're good. I had a question back here in the corner. Just give me 1 second. Go ahead.
I also wanted to thank the candidates for coming. Cheryl, I just wanted you to clarify what you were saying about the factory on Mumford Road. Do you have something particular that you...
Oh, no. I was just using it as an example, because, we had the veneer plant right there in Wilberforce all them years. There wasn't a lot of complaints about the veneer plant, and, it gave a lot of us jobs. We had Clappos over there, also right in town. There wasn't a lot of complaints, and even if I was shopping at IGA, I could just barely hear over there. So, we have areas in which to put factories.
So, yeah, factories. So you're not talking about the gun range with explosives going on behind a farm then?
Not that.
Okay.
No, I'm talking factory. That gun range, no.
Okay, thank you.
Now, do I get a chance to answer that, or is it on one side of here?
Yeah,
If you'd like to, I'm sorry. Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead.
Certainly.
100%.
And Michelle, yeah, we have the factories and stuff that disappeared on us for whatever reason. I have my thoughts on why they have left town. And it's hard when something is gone, it's hard to try to replace it. Try to bring somebody back into an empty building. And I'll use Martin's Lumber and Dyser, the same thing. Like, who's going to come and help us with that? Yeah, we can maybe give them some incentives, waive some of the building stuff to get people here. Who's going to come? That thing sat dormant for, I don't know, I'm going to say 25 years now, or maybe more. And lovely building. If I was in business, I'd probably like to have it, but it's frustrating because the harder we try, it seems we go backwards.
Okay, thanks, Dave. Stefan, we get one more question for you. Yep, go ahead.
So with economic times being what they are, what would your main objectives be to make life for Highlands East residents better?
So everyone heard that question. So with economic times the way it is, how would you make lives better for Highlands Easters? Action. Okay, let's start with Dave. Let's go to Cheryl then. Yeah, Dave.
Oh, I thought you...
Yeah, I'm mixing it up a little bit. So we're gonna start with Dave, we'll go to Cheryl, and then if you'd like to, you can answer as well, Ward 2, it can go to Ward 2 as well, for sure, absolutely. Okay, go ahead.
All right, and I guess, Stefan, that would be my vision, and I'm gonna call it that, I'll probably read a bit here, but it's to create a vibrant and inclusive municipality and county, where the support systems in place, opportunities for all of us working together to achieve it. Not just Dave Burton and council, all of us together. We need experienced mayors. that can provide the environment that will create inclusive and respectful municipalities that accept their cultures and traditions. My goal is to make municipalities the honors of our unique heritage, shares knowledge, promotes and creates the culture of Highlands East and Halliburton County.
Okay, over to Cheryl.
What was
Go
that
ahead.
question again, Stefan?
The question was, if elected, bear with me 1 second. If elected, economic times you there, if elected, what would your main objectives to make life better for the residents in Highlands East?
Well, at present time, I think a tax freeze would be a good idea, and maybe we have to do a little bit of restructuring for to still find the money to move forward with other things, but, I would look for a tax freeze and maybe look at something, there's some programs out there in which we can, reclassify our small businesses to allow them to get more tax breaks too.
Okay. I'm gonna put that over to Ward 2. Do either of you want to respond?
Sure.
You can jump in, Angela, then? Go ahead.
As I said before, with the economy, and I know a lot of contractors, we need to start including them in the conversation. They know how to drive the community. And right now, obviously, we're not gonna have any industry come in there because you don't have any housing. So let's utilize the people that are driving the economy right now, which is all of your trades and anybody else that is in small business. They know what they're talking about. And so we bridge that, and they can have a voice and say, these are the barriers and this is what we need to move forward. And I think that that is gonna help the economy here and the people here. And as far as, like as I said before, the education, we need to get involved with the colleges and start getting programs that are geared to this area. And so that people can get better educated, maybe certificates under their belt, and then they'll start their own business, and then it just keeps creating. Until then, there's no way an industry is gonna come here because we don't have that.
Okay, thanks. Over to Janice.
I think going forward, the whole concept of having our community having a voice, I'd love to see, like a town hall meeting, find out, like, we know what we think we want, but what does everybody else in our community want? What do we need, or what do they feel we need? I could say, you know, we need the A, B, and C, but maybe not, it's only me thinking that sort of thing. So having open dialogues with our community, with our trade, with our businesses, to see what do they think we need as a community to go forward to thrive and prosper. And I think it starts at that basic level of communication with our people.
Okay, thanks.
Can I just add something or no? No? Okay.
Not supposed to. Okay. Maybe you can work it in on another answer of another question.
Getting warmed up now.
Yeah. Okay, we'll take one question back here. Oh, just 1 second. I'll get you next.
What do you all think, individually, yes or no? Do you think it's fair that these people who are renting out short-term properties do not pay commercial property taxes and are not licensed to operate a business? And my last question, yes or no, is, would you knowingly, because unfortunately I live beside one, would you knowingly want to buy your home or your cottage beside a short-term rental?
Okay, so the question is for mayor candidates or for everyone?
For all.
For all of them? Okay, so do you understand what the question, everyone understands the question? Yep, okay. Let's start with Janice this time.
Sorry, Janice, I know you got a short-term rental.
They're on either side of me, yeah, I do believe that there's regulations that need to be applied to the short-term rentals. And if licensing is one aspect of that to keep it, you know, to address it as a business. So whether there's, you know, if it's going to be a commercial rental, I think that's what they call it, and they should be, you know, taxed accordingly as a business. And in doing so, actually, that will benefit our local economy even more so. I mean, I know you're saying that, you know, renters are bringing in money already, but on a very base level of taxes, it's going to help us out as well.
Okay. Angela, over to you.
Oh, okay, so my answer is, no, it's not fair. It's not not their fault. It should be other municipalities are using it called a MAP tax, municipal accommodation tax, which is the same thing that all of our other hotels, motels, and resorts and lodges are charged. They should be charged the same thing. It is a lucrative business now. It's not so much as anybody that was, they're making little extra dollars to offset their taxes. It's not that. It's lucrative. It's a business, and they should be taxed. No, it's not.
And would you knowingly buy a house or a family cottage if you knew there was a
Would I knowingly buy? No.
Okay. Let's go to Cheryl.
Okay, no, they should be taxed totally different. There should be a business tax on it and commercial, and yes, they should be licensed. And I would not knowingly buy beside them. There's a lot of reasons why I would not do that. With that?
I can tell you a lot of them.
No, I don't.
Okay. All right, Dave, you're up.
Harold, thank you for the question. We know it's an issue, we know it's a problem. I've said that with your last question that for me, for people to be here, safety is paramount. I want them accountable when they're here, taking part in what we're doing and hopefully helping us out to our economy and stuff, maybe spending some money while they're here. But all my years in the fire department and different things that we had, and I had calls where we would go to a short-term rental and I couldn't get to the casualty because of the actions of the people around me.
No.
But no, I won't buy next door to one.
No. But the question is, do you think they should be licensed?
Yes.
And do you think it's fair that they're paying residential tax and not commercial?
Yes, but undoubtedly, and we're working at that in the county, and it's very close to being done. I thought it may have been done for the election, but it's not. I think we're in a good place with it. If somebody went online, they could probably see it or find it. But we're very close to having it in, and like I said earlier, it's the commercial, not the casual that I'm really after.
It is.
Yes, and Harold, most of them are. And the septics weren't made for that, and the roads weren't made for it, the parking wasn't made for it. We're trying to address that so we can keep people safe while they're here.
But other townships are charging them anywhere from $1,500 for a license, limiting it to $50, and then charging them property taxes and mandating quarterly home inspections for safety and health issues.
And I know, and that would be the same thing, just with Ken speak for 1 second.
You got 2 seconds, go, quick.
No, we're doing that with the county Herald, and I'll think of what.
Perfect, okay. Sorry, I can't have the back and forth because I can't keep time on people that way, so, yeah, no worries at all. Okay, we had one question back here, this gentleman.
Well, that actually was my question.
Okay.
Yes, my second question is about the fact that you're looking at changing the tax status for those short-term rentals. I have not heard a thing about that. And how much will that change how do you identify commercial short-term rentals from casual short-term rentals? There's 2 properties on our road, were residential, now they're somewhere in the middle. I don't know how the government tells the difference.
Okay, so I'm gonna kind of break that down just a little bit where he's wondering how you determine whether or not a property is residential or commercial being used for either one. This is a really big question, so 2 minutes probably isn't gonna cut it for any of this, but is that open to everyone or?
Yes, it is.
Okay, then we're just.
I'm just not clear on the question.
So, okay, can you restate your question one more time?
Okay.
Try to concise it, yeah.
How do you identify properties that are commercial short-term rentals from casual short-term rentals, i.e. are rented once a year, twice a year?
Okay, ready? Is that question? So everyone got that? More clear? Okay, so let's start with Cheryl on this one, and we'll work our way all the way down. Go ahead.
Just thinking about it, I guess we might have to work on like sort of a tip system to start off with, but otherwise it would be rather difficult to figure out a way to actually tell if they wanted to be dishonest about it, if they were going to, because you can say, oh no, that was my cousin, no, that was my nephew and his family, because they can feed you a lot of stories. And yeah, it would be difficult to tell. So if they're filing income tax or something like that, they would have to claim that on their income tax. Maybe somehow working with the Ontario government to find out who is claiming these rental incomes. If they're claiming them, which they should be, but I think it would be really hard to be able to know.
Okay, thanks, Cheryl. Over to Dave.
At the county, we are, like I said, in the position that we're getting close to having a bylaw to put in place for everybody's safety. Commercial, to me, and part of that bylaw, I don't have it at my fingertips here, I'm gonna call it hours of operation. So, it's so many nights a week and so many places that there is a divide there between commercial and casual. The casual to me is us wanting to rent our cottage out for a couple of weeks during the summer to our friends or neighbors, whatever. No problem with that at all. It's the people that are, I call them factories, that are abusing the system, and we're after them. We will find them, and we will tax them. I'm not cutting up, did you say something about cutting taxes for them or something, or?
Changing the taxes.
Increasing their
taxes.
Oh,
Commercial.
what we're working on is a demerit point system. Should be interesting when it is played out. Like 3 strikes you're out, but we have to get to those people where they're gonna have the 3 strikes and they're out.
But how, do you have any?
Okay, well, we're not debating at the table, so, yeah. Are you done, Dave?
Sure.
Okay,
Sorry, I maybe didn't answer your question, but best I could.
over to Janice.
I think in order to determine whether you are, displaced commercial or casual, eventually it's gonna have to come down to, I'm gonna say like a bylaw, there's gonna have to be rules written saying, like a formula, X number of weeks, X number of hours, to determine, what's commercial, what's a casual, that's the only way you can, then apply the appropriate taxes.
Okay,
Everything that I've read online, and I've researched it, so I can research it no more, and other municipalities, it's 30 days or less. So if you rent it out for 30 days or less, it's classified as short-term accommodation. And so you need it, and other municipalities have used the MAT tax, which is 4%, which is exactly what all the other lodges and everybody else, because it is classified as a business. And from what I can understand, is that a lot of the other municipalities have 2 the demerit. 3 strikes you're out, and your license is revoked. And how I've read on in Bracebridge and a few other unfilled. So if you have a cottage association and their cottage association, their business number or whatever it is for their short-term accommodation has to be posted outside. My daughter lives on a lake and they have all of these other short-term rentals, and when there's parties going on, they don't know where they are. So what they can do is go along and find a 911 number or outside of their, and that's where your 3 strikes rule, so that you actually have something, a number to coordinate to the owner that owns that place. That would start your 3 strike rule. And I agree with that. That is, and it's worked for other people, other municipalities.
okay,
Thank you.
okay. How's everyone feeling? Does anyone need a little break, get a coffee, go to the bathroom, or do we want to keep going? Pardon? Okay, we're gonna keep going. All right. I'm gonna actually read a question, because we've had like 5 questions come in, and I haven't got to any of them yet. This is for all the candidates. Given housing shortages in our area, what's your opinion about changing bylaws to allow renovations to garage, etc., to make tiny houses people could rent? Is there something we can do with bylaws changing the or waiving costs of surveying, severing one's property to build another dwelling, as it might make it more affordable to people? So let's start back down at you. Sorry about that, but let's go back this way. Okay.
For me?
Yep, go ahead.
All right.
It's for everyone, but we'll start with you. Okay.
Multi-unit housing, I'm trying to be really quick about this. Multi-unit housing is going to work, and as everybody's on this carbon footprint, that's lessen your carbon footprint. As far as everybody that I know, you need to make it so that you can actually put another dwelling on, maybe a smaller dwelling on your property that exists. It's going to help with other kids that are coming home and that are living at home and want to have a place to live. Granny flats. Let's get your parents in the back of your granny flat. That alleviates that house opening up. Maybe we do a tax break on that. So if your parents are living in a granny flat in the back, you get a bit of a tax break for that. You have multi-unit housing, being able to put multiple units of tiny houses on your property will help out families. and get a multi-unit rental.
Okay. Go ahead, Janice.
I actually agree with Angela too about multi-unit housing, but I'd also like to possibly see the idea of being able to, not necessarily even on your own property, but that as truly we allow more tiny homes to be built. I'd like to see potentially more, residential income facilities, build a multi-unit building, so several houses. I mean, some families are housed under one of these units with a, as I said, a regular income structure, so that it does really just become affordable for individuals and, adjusting some bylaws with respect to as long as it's all done, properly and safely, basement apartments, drainage suites, that sort of thing. I'm in favor of that, definitely.
Okay. Go ahead, Dave.
We've done that, and this council has done that, and we have dropped the square footage of the houses down. We have put in place granny flats will be, I shouldn't call them anymore, but second dwelling or whatever, it can be accepted and certainly can be. We want people at home, and we want people to be comfortable at home, so we did implement that. I got a project going on here in Cardiff that I think it's 28 or 24 units here, and we're having quite a time. We've been at this for probably 4 years now, just with getting through the red tape that our premier promised that we wouldn't have red tape. But we're going through it, we are getting through it, and I'm hoping the heck that we can have it by my next term as regent. Mayor.
Okay. Thanks. Cheryl, your turn.
Yeah, I'm on the tiny home thing too, and as Dave already stated, they've made it easier for us to make the granny flats and stuff like that. That all works. I didn't have no idea that program was still moving through with all the built apartments here in Cardiff. I think that's excellent. I haven't heard anything for a long time. I thought maybe that was put to the side. So that actually should help also. And the provincial government's promises, just like Dave said, of removing some of the red tape, which obviously they still haven't got around to.
Okay. Thanks. I'm going to read, I got a couple more questions that I need to get through. I just don't want anyone left out at the end of the day. Nobody signed this one. This question is specifically for Cheryl. In a recent article from the Highlander newspaper, you basically stated that you're not in favor of new businesses, nor allowing people from the city. I haven't read this article, so I have no context, okay? So you can respond how you'd like to this. Or allowing people from the city to move here. Why would you say that?
I did not say that.
Okay, perfect. That one's done. Okay. You can have 2 minutes if you'd like.
I would encourage new business. Absolutely.
Okay. All right. Next one. This one's been asked, I think. Just give me a second. Yeah, that's the one that's been asked already. Okay. This is for everyone, I assume. It's not signed and it doesn't say who it's for. Many businesses have been opening up, events are coming back, and people are still being cautious. Highlands East continues to keep their meetings closed and no opportunity for open discussion. Instead of Zoom meetings, the Zoom meeting just shuts off. Why hasn't the municipality opened the doors in a safe manner and allowed residents to be engaged in person? I assume maybe that's for... I would think so. I don't think the other three candidates, I don't think it would make any difference to them, so go ahead.
Okay, sure. We as council, when we first started, if I got 2 minutes, I'll try to use our quick this. But when COVID hit, we were doing things. Council left pretty much the daily operations of what's going on to me. They took, I kept them updated best I could, but we were in the state of emergency doing what we were doing. So as we went through the program or progress, the guy at the top of the province wasn't really giving us clear direction and stuff, how we were going to move on to the next phase of COVID or whatever's going on. So anyway, the council wanted to meet in person. I got 2 or 3 of them here tonight that wanted to meet in person. And when we got ready to meet in person, we had a COVID outbreak in the office. And so council decided there was only 2 meetings or something left, and council decided, no, it's not worth the risk to get together and do it. I will tell you, Zoom meetings, Zoom meetings have been handy, we're doing it tonight. It's not as warm and fuzzy as being together. I had no choice, I could not be together. So we did what we did. But we're here now. After I'm elected, we will be back in person, and that was the council agreed to.
Okay, and there's one more question that clears up all the questions that were put in the box. This one's kind of, I'm not sure for you guys to kind of hash out. Why are there two different no camping signs posted in Highlands East? Some are plain black and white, others are just the Highlands East logo and more verbal, such as no overnight camping and water is not tested. So I'm not sure, I assume they're referring to shorelines maybe, like shoreline camping, like on some of the lakes, there's posted no camping signs. I'm guessing. Sorry.
Boat launches and stuff like that.
Yeah, maybe, yeah, around the boat
Yeah,
launches and
probably.
stuff. So, let's start Cheryl and work our way back down. Yeah.
Oh, I have no idea what the different signs posted. I have no, Dave is probably the one that can answer that for us.
Okay. Yeah, it was kind of an odd question.
And I'm not,
Yeah.
I wish I knew specific Steve where, we had put signs, I'll use the Morgan Park, no camping
Okay.
within 66 feet. So that was from like the water level back 66 feet. So what the campers were doing, the sign kind of was misleading that you can camp 66 feet back. You can't camp on our 66 feet.
Okay.
So, and that was probably Crown land where they were camping, so we decided to change the signs to no camping, without putting, I think that's what we're leading to, instead of putting the 66 feet.
Okay.
Now, I did talk, North Bay Beach is something we should talk about as well. We are in the process, we are going to have no camping signs there, and that issue will be, in my opinion, resolved next year.
Okay. Janice, would you like to say anything? Okay. 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 And Angela, give you a chance.
I noticed that there was different signs, I just thought maybe this was back to the whole, people that were on Potash Beach. I bet that's where I thought this was going,
It's a reasonable assumption, I think. Yeah. Okay. Back to the floor. Tom, one more question. Go ahead.
This question is for Dave. Reading the Highlander, you seem to be maybe in support of amalgamation. Just what would you do to ensure all of the small communities within Highlands East still have a voice and that the heritage and services offered within each community is maintained?
And Tom, you can read what you want in that newspaper, and I'll tell you, I never once and never ever will support amalgamation. I've said publicly, if we're going to amalgamate, I would consider maybe going with Hastings or standalone as Highlands East. Amalgamation, there's nobody in this world has told us, the newspaper that probably you're alluding to, they had come out with a story on it. And it wasn't costing, it was going to cost more to amalgamate. So why do it? Yes, I may be forced one day by the province, or I may be forced with our opponent, or with our opponents and different things for staff. I'm having a hard time getting staff, which, in my opinion, are good jobs in the township here, but I don't have homes for them. They don't want to live here, and it's happened about 3 times to me. But I would never, I said I would look at it, in that article you're talking to, and I said I would look at it, and I have to, it's my job, I have to look at every issue on the table, and I will look at it. But I am not into amalgamation, no matter what, and I'll tell you, I had the mayor of the city of Kawartha Lakes went through it. They had 17 municipalities turned into the city of Kawartha Lakes, and they're running about $25 million deficit every year because they can't manage it all. And when it comes, here's another quick one, Steve, if I can. When it comes to grants and loans and all this stuff, for example, in the county, we have 5 cracks at whatever's out there. Every municipality and the county. If we're one, we have one. So that one has to be, somebody has to go say, oh yeah, it's going to go over there. Well, it's going to leave this one out. So I'm not a supporter, and I hope most people but I will after tonight, believe me when I say I do not support amalgamation, period.
Okay, thanks, Dave. Because of that question, just the way they posed that question, I'm actually gonna open that up to all of them, just because I'd like to hear, I think it's something that's important for all of us. So, Cheryl, let's hear from you, and then we'll go over to Ward 2.
No, I would never go for amalgamation. I think we'd lose our local waste, maybe a decline in our service levels, tax increases, and from what I've read so far about amalgamations, unless you have it planned out dead on, you're gonna go in debt, because the tiniest little error can just cost everybody a fortune. So I am absolutely against it.
Okay, let's go down to Janice.
Typically, I'm not in favor of amalgamation at all. I believe all of our communities have such a uniqueness to them. They all have, historical values. We live in each of our little communities for a very reason, and we want to, keep that and maintain that. I feel if we do amalgamate, we're going to, like Desmond said, we're going to lose, our identities and who we are. So I'm not for it at all.
Okay, thanks. Over to Angela.
Oh, 100%, I do not for amalgamation at all. I mean, we're still recuperating from the amalgamation that we had in Carter Township. And I know this is a sore subject, but we need to bridge that, we need to be inclusive. And so, yeah, I'm not for amalgamating, that's what county, absolutely 100% not. And when I say this, we need to have a Ward 2 committee. And that is a combination of one end of the ward to the other, and a committee that includes both sides. So you can come together, see what the issues are with both ends of it, because Ward 2 is such a large area, and I think that's.
Any other questions? Okay, let's first.
There's a two-part question. The first part is for Dave, second part is for Cheryl. Dave, you've been a mayor for 4 terms or 16 years. What do you consider your 4 major accomplishments in office? And Cheryl, what would you do differently?
Since the question was kind of directed, let's start with Dave first, and then Cheryl, you can fill in after. Go ahead, Dave.
I was told a few years ago that, and I'll just use it as a quick example. I think one of my accomplishments that I'm really, really most proud of is getting the ambulance base in Torrey Hill. That's been a godsend for us here. It's been nothing but excellent for our people here with the service and stuff we've done. I was told at that time, if I ever close the fire hall, like, how dare you? But I did have firefighters come by that hall to come to Wilberforce and then drive back with another fire truck to go past the hall again. So the hall wasn't being utilized. I responded out there. But I would say my biggest accomplishment, I feel, has been internet, with what we've done with it, and the cell gap and stuff, I'm extremely proud of. It's not perfect, we're not there yet. I'm proud that I could take part in that and be there as part of the legacy as we move on with it. I'm disappointed that we have a hard time getting jobs and getting work for people. I've tried, and I can take you through a lot of scenarios where I had one person, for example, that wanted 5 employees, wanted benefit or pay benefits, everything else, and I went looking hard, and I found one. And this guy might be here tonight, but I found one. And that's discouraging. I'd like to do better with that. But I'm proud of our food bank. I'm proud of what we do with food bank. I was proud of what we did with our in-class stuff with the schools to help educate, to see if we can't fight poverty in a more productive way.
Okay. Cheryl, your turn.
Things to improve life in the municipality. I think basically to improve the life of pretty much everybody in the municipality is to be more open and listen to what the people want. Because everybody's idea of a life improvement is different. So I think listening to the community and finding out exactly what their needs, wants are, would improve their lives.
Okay, we have another question from the box. This question is for all candidates. What do you see as the biggest concern and biggest concern and project that will be in the next 4 years for Highlands East? And we'll start down at Angela. at the other end. If that's okay, you got the question, or?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
So housing obviously is the first thing. So for me, let's get a little of the trade, let's work with the trades, see where we need to go and the barriers that are there. Housing is huge, and I think that that's going to drive our economy locally. It's going to give young kids jobs, and when I say young kids, I'm talking 20. I'm that old now. And so I think that's what we need to do, is really work with the trades and work with all the small businesses, and that's electricians, that's plumbers, you name it. You have to involve them in this. They know how this is going to work. They know the barriers. You're a committee that has nothing, that knows anything about this, that are going to decide on it. You need to involve all of them. And whether that's a committee of just business owners, and as I said, that goes from electricians to maintenance, plumbers, doesn't matter what it is, painters, drywallers, those are all going to be needed in the community. So that's going to push for our housing.
Okay. Janice, go ahead.
Again, why are seeing wavelength, again, I think the big project for the next quarter is to work on the forest plan. It really is the keystone to having a thriving, healthy community that's going to prosper as the years go on. And definitely input from all the kids, maybe create some sort of business association, like a BIA type of thing, or, you know, we can get together and discuss. And as I said before, we may think we know what the answers are, the solution is, but getting input from everybody, from the business standpoint, is crucial. We have to start listening as opposed to assuming and knowing.
Okay. Dave?
Sure. Housing, poverty, but housing, and I have been working very closely with the province. Justin will come up with a little bit of money. I've heard that he is for helping us out with this, but the province are changing the provincial policy statement that I can put housing on lots that have a well and septic, and that's where I've kind of been handcuffed. That's why the developer wants to come to Cardiff, because I have sewer and water here. So they are lightening that up, or easing that up a little bit, that we can possibly build, instead of one house and one lot with one well and one septic, that we can maybe put 4, and I'm hoping they might ease it to 6 to be able to help us out to do it. And there's lots of places to do it, if they will allow us to. But they are in the process of changing it.
Okay. Cheryl?
Okay, so I'm with the other ones as far as the housing goes, but you know, if we the housing and the trades, so we bring the pair of them together, that's giving jobs and building houses, so that would absolutely be a great thing. And we do have the Halliburton Builders Association, and it has all kinds of trades there, all kinds of businesses. You know, if we were to listen to them and maybe get ideas from them, we could probably move forward on some of these things, bringing the trades in and building the homes and stuff.
Okay. Thank you very much for answering. Do you have another question? Yeah, here, up front here.
My question, I'm Dale Shank. My question is for you, all of you, is affordable housing. How is that going to work? Who's paying for that at the end of the day? Is it the federal, the provincial, or municipality?
Okay, everyone got that question? Well, let's start at Cheryl and go back down the other way.
Well, I'd be heading for the feds first, and if I couldn't get any coin out of them, then I'd be heading to the provincial. Between the two of them, we should be able to get something, because they've made all these promises. Just keep pounding away at them. There's supposed to be a lot of incentives, and there's supposed to be grants out there.
I'm looking at affordability. Affordability is $2,000 a month rent.
No, that's not affordability.
No.
Not here, absolutely.
That's what
not
it's
here.
at right now.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
you can even find something for that, yeah.
That's not affordability.
No, but that's where if the federal and the provincial, they were in there, then maybe they would do that as, you know, how they used to do it. They take your wages and it's year to income is what you paid for the rental on it. So geared to income is probably the only way to go to make it affordable housing for each individual family.
Okay? Dave, go ahead.
Dale, I said housing, I didn't say anything about affordable housing, but there's no reason why all three levels of government can't come to the party together and try to figure it out. The group that want to put the complex here, I thought their rent was very, very fair when they did come, and what they had done went through Halliburton County, and they found that they used, for example, maybe Mapleview, which is, I think, until hold me right to it, but I think it was $800 to $900 a month. Which I thought, wow, we can put people in a place here for that, but we're winners. And they are also offering to upgrade the septic sewage system, because it's probably going to need it to take the extra traffic and stuff. To answer your question, all three levels, and there's a lot of work to be done.
Okay. Over to Janice.
Sorry to sound very repetitive, but we definitely have to go to all levels of government and see what we can do for us. What kind of money can they give us, or what kind of, help and assistance? And Dave referenced Mapleview, rent is income probably is the best solution. If we can get builders willing to, build affordable housing, that they're not making a ton of profit on it. Everybody has to work together. The government, the builders, everybody has to make this work.
Okay. Go ahead, Angela.
Definitely, I haven't seen you in years, well, how are you? So, yeah, definitely all three levels of government. Now, I remember when Gary and I first got married, and there was basically the same thing. There was houses, and I'm just going to use Wilberforce as an example, and I spoke to patients about this before. And they were geared to, you could purchase to own, so you would rent to own. I would like to see more of that rent to own, because if you're going to put $900 or $1,500 out, at least you can own it at the end. It doesn't matter if it takes 40 years. Like, that is where it should be geared to, so that it's a purchase, and then it's yours at the end of 40 years or whatever it is. So it's not just so much as that geared to your income, it's you're going to, at the end, own it.
Okay. Thank you. I have one question from the box. It's for all candidates. What would you like to, or what are you planning to do to help with the mental health in Highlands East, from students to parents to the elderly? And this is for all candidates. So we'll put you on the spot, Angela, and we'll start with you. Coming back down. I'll give you 2 seconds before you ready? Okay.
I mean, what are you, is it just mental health in general?
Yes.
Or is it one specific area of mental health?
So all I can do is reread the question. What are you planning to do to help with mental health in Highlands East, from students to parents to elderly?
Well, this is broad, this is right across Canada, it's no different than the housing. Mental health is a huge issue. We don't even have doctors. If we need to bring doctors in and walk-in clinics, there's the mental health in Halliburton. I believe that there's 2 sources of mental health, but I mean, everything is so full. So I'm not even sure what the answer or solution to that is. Now, if it had been a specific area, I might have been able to gear for that. But.
Okay, thank you. Go ahead, James.
If I could, I'd like to see something similar to the youth help that runs in Halliburton. It's a facility where, this is more specifically, teenagers, who won't give them a safe place to go to be, there's people they can talk to if they need to talk, or just to associate with other sort of like-minded individuals, so to speak. Having, I don't know, almost like, groups for seniors, groups for children, groups for youth, where people can just get together and hang out and talk. Sometimes that's all they need is just some companionship, someone to listen to. And, maybe we can create some sort of environment here within Highlands East that will allow for that, or the start of that.
Okay, thanks. Dave, you're up.
And Steve, we're working at that, and it might take a second or two to explain this one, but we implemented at the county a community safety well-being plan. We've had every user group that mental health issues, everything has been part of this community safety and well-being plan. We were finding that our police services were getting out of hand because a lot of the calls weren't really a crime, but they may have been a mental health issue. So these groups are gonna work together to see if we can maybe cut the price of our policing down a bit and be with these people that need help when they deserve it. And so it's there, if somebody went online and look at it, it's there pretty close to being completed. We are going to switch over a little bit and have a police board instead of the CPAC that we're on, and I think you were maybe on one of those ones as well, but we've changed that a little bit as well. But we are addressing the mental health in a big way.
Okay, thank you. Go ahead.
So we got the three different age groups there.
Yeah.
So
It was
the youth,
students, parents, and elderly.
youth, we used to have the youth groups through the church and stuff like that. I'm not sure if they still run or not, but I think they were a great place for the kids. They enjoyed it, they were able to speak freely, and the people that were running them were really supportive. And the kids felt like, even if they didn't have all the supports at home or, you know, somebody to listen to, the church youth group really did help them out. And then the people, you know, younger families and that, yeah, they actually do need to have some help because they're really struggling financially.
We're gonna have to work with the Silent Park and the government there for signage to come here to Cardiff, because that's what you want. You want them to come here to the corner store. And maybe we need to start building up around here, more business, encourage maybe a grocery store close by.
Okay. I did have a request from one person here in the front, so we're gonna do, I hope it's a quick question, but, okay, go ahead.
Hi, my name is Doug. I'd like to know how fast it's gonna take you, sir, to get that gentleman his medal. If he's passed away for a year and it slipped through the cracks, say, who's responsible for it? And are they gonna have a service for the guy? Because we have a lot of firemen that volunteer their time, and it's been a year. That kind of sucks, really.
Oh,
Okay.
it's inexcusable, and I will find out tomorrow. I can't do much. I hear you.
Is it gonna happen this week? We have a lot of firemen, good and old.
So we're not going to get into a back and forth debate right now, but it's like, but
Yes, answer your
you,
question, yes.
Okay.
It will be dealt with tomorrow, and I'll find out, and if somebody's head's gonna fall, I guess if that's what you want, we'll see if we can't make it. But I'm not sure that's what is required, but I'll see how it slipped through the cracks, which I said earlier. It is totally unexcusable.
And you should have a party.
okay.
That's what we're doing.
Okay, everyone, we've been 2 hours. Hope it's been very informative. I want to thank the candidates for coming here. It takes a lot of gumption to sit in front of everybody here and answer questions point blank and rapid fire. We're going to wrap up with 3 minutes for each candidate, and we're going to let them pitch themselves to you one last time. And we're going to start at Cheryl, and we're going to work our way right down.
We're gonna start at Cheryl.
Of course we are. Okay.
Yeah, so maybe I should be talking with going on here before. So
Yep. Yep.
I know I really want to thank everybody for coming, and I don't feel uncomfortable up here because we're all the same community, and I actually feel at home. So and I know it's going to be a challenging job. If I do get elected, then there's going to be a lot of work for me, and I'm going to have to learn a lot. But like any new job, there is a lot of learning to do. But I do have, you know, I have the skills and the knowledge behind me. So I just have to learn what it's like to be on council and stuff like that. But I think all of you will probably help me along the way, and I'm really hoping to have a more open relationship with everybody and get back to everybody with their issues and see if we can't solve stuff together. That goes across the board for the whole community. I just want to be there for everybody and I'm work for you. That is what I want to do, is just work for you guys. My priority is to help Highlands East become healthy, prosperous, and inviting community for everyone to enjoy. And every single person in Highlands East will be my priority. And thanks everybody for coming.
Okay, thanks. Dave, closing remarks?
Okay, thank you, and thanks Steve again, and thank everybody for coming, but I'm just going to be kind of blunt to the point here, but I will tell you this, as your mayor, I will represent each and every one of you to the best of my abilities at all times. Integrity, truth, and honesty. I, as your experienced mayor, will get us connected to the world with our internet, and I will do that. I, as your experienced mayor, will lead us through this COVID and the COVID recovery and the stuff that we have ahead of us right now. It's not a time to switch gears here. We have to move forward with the proper leadership and the proper dedication to get us out of this mess, to get us back to our near normal as what we can do. Every day of my life, I'm spending your tax dollars. Everything we talked about tonight is your hard-earned tax dollars, whether federal, provincial, or municipal. It is, and I'm very aware, very cognizant, and I watch very, very closely what has been spent and where it's being spent. I watch the budget closely, and I love putting the budget and different things together so we can watch it unfold as the year comes. It's different than my own business that I had, that Jane and I had. I had to go earn those dollars. Like I said, I'm spending your money, so the money's collected, and then I go and spend it. We talked earlier about the amalgamation. I had something. We were talking about mental health. Our community paramedicine that I brought in for our paramedics to run around and visit our elderly and do things like that. I started that with, I got the template from Renfrew County when I was chair of the Eastern Wardens Caucus. It's been a success for us to keep people in their homes and make sure people are safe. Instead of the paramedics roaming, they're going visiting, doing blood pressure, doing this and that. And most times, people, a visit is what they're looking for more than maybe a call to go to the hospital and take a bed or something in the hospital. I just want to say, I ask everybody to please vote. Vote wisely. I enjoy your evening, and thank you for coming and making time taking time to be with us tonight. It's been a highlight for me, and I certainly have, over the 16 years, enjoyed representing each and every one of you, and thank you.
Okay, Dave. Go ahead, Janice. You're up.
So I'd really like to thank everybody for coming out tonight. As I said in the beginning, most of you don't know me, and I don't need to know you, but if elected, I hope to change that. I want everybody to know that I'm there always. I'm accessible. If you need to talk, I'll listen. If you need an answer to an email, I'll answer you. If elected, I really will work hard for you. I will work with our council and our public staff and everybody who works to make this community as great as it is. And I encourage each and every one of you to get out and vote. It's your time to say what, who's in charge for the next 4 years, and it's something to open in here tonight.
Okay, thanks, Janice. Go ahead. Last word.
Thank you to everybody for coming. As I said, I've been outlook through all my life. I know these struggles that everybody has endured, because I've endured them myself. I achieved through hard work, sweat and tears, to own a home. Both my kids have homes. And so I want that all of your children, and I'm speaking to my neighbor's generation of kids, we need to, as a whole, and as a community, and as a municipality, secure the same things and the same opportunities that all of us have. Because we're not going to have it if we don't. We all have to work together on that. I believe that we need to have a Ward 2 committee. And maybe it's across the board. Other boards have the same thing, a committee. That everybody comes together and if they have issues, and you can bring those to the council so that you don't have to have that mediation. And it's then it becomes more of an open town, full-time council meeting or town meeting. And then so that it doesn't escalate to some of the issues when you have to have the mediation go and in front of council. As I said, this is up to us, and I don't want to, I did the same thing with my parents. They didn't pay attention to what was going on in the municipality, and at that time it was, Cardiff Township. Things got put through, and because they had a house, they didn't need to worry about that. I don't want that. I don't want these kids looking at us and our generation go, you let it go. And now we've got nothing. We have to secure this, and it's for everybody. We have to make sure that the elderly are taken care of. And that's our responsibility. Is the elderly and also that next generation that wants to have a house and has to be attainable for them. We need to secure jobs, that's 100%. I've never had a job that I got, had a pension plan. My pension plan is that I will work till I take my last breath. That's my pension plan. Because there is no jobs out there. Unless you're full-time with the county or full-time with the municipality, those jobs aren't out there that pay a pension plan. So that's mine. But I want these kids to actually have it so that they know as they're growing up and getting older, that they can see that there's a business, that there's something that they can,
No, keep going. Yeah, you got 30 seconds.
that they can attain, that I'm going to be able to stay here. We need to have, as I said, more of the colleges need to be geared so that these kids can go to college here. And if it's in the evenings and that, then they can work in the daytime. But affordability all the way around has got to be achievable for this next generation. We had it, it was achievable, it didn't seem like it at the time, but I'm telling you, this next generation is gonna have a hard time.
Thanks, Angela. Okay, that concludes tonight's all candidates meeting. Thank you everyone for coming and voicing your concerns. Thank you, candidates, each and every one of you. Thank you for being here. Thank you, Michelle, and everyone who put this on. It's well worth it, and I think this is probably the only all candidates debate happening or meeting happen. So everyone drive safely, and the candidates are here. I'm sure if you want to come up and talk to them, you could go ahead. And thanks, everyone. Have a good night. My God.